Hi, my name is Dr. Abby Rosen. I'm a psychologist and director of InnerSource, Center for Psychotherapy and Healing in Annapolis, Maryland. And I'm also the author of Lasting Transformation, a guide to navigating life's journey. I'm excited to be vlogging. That's my new favorite word. It means video blogging. And I'm excited because I'm normally in my office seeing one person or maybe seeing a couple, or I'm doing a beach retreat, or a group of 1 or maybe 24 people. And I love doing the work I do, but I'm excited about this modality of vlogging because through the course of the journey that I've been on for the last 40 years, I've had experiences that were so profound, heart and soul touching, and transformative. And I feel like they weren't happening just for myself alone. I feel like they happened to me so I could share them with others. And that way, the amount of people that would benefit would grow exponentially. It felt great to share them in the book. And I'm really happy to be sharing these experiences with you now. And I want you to feel free to share them with others in your world. I hope they touch your heart and soul and transform your world as they have mine. The experience that began this book, I've actually saved for last, as it's at the very end of the book. It's called The Inspiration for This Book and an Inspiration for Our Lives. I thought if I began the book with this experience, readers would think I was a little too woo-woo. But I think I've gotten braver since writing the book because I'm beginning my vlogging with this experience. I can't wait to share it with you. This experience no longer sounds woo-woo. It really is profound. My mom passed away in November of 1990. And in February of 1991, one of my friends was getting married in Los Angeles. She told me about a clairaudient who lives in LA and who communicates with people who have passed over to the other side. I was really skeptical and didn't call him until the night before I was about to fly out for the wedding. He normally has a 3-month waiting list, yet he just happened to have a cancellation on the only day I could have seen him. Given my skepticism, I decided not to tell him anything about myself so that I would be sure he wouldn't be guessing about me from context clues. These events took place right before Valentine's Day. And the night before I left, I was staying at my sister and brother-in-law's house in Baltimore. I had gone to the health food store and bought my niece and nephew heart-shaped lollipops. Thinking they were chocolate, they bit into them very excitedly. And when, to my surprise, they said, "Oh, yuck, these don't taste like chocolate," I realized that, of course, the lollipops weren't chocolate. They wouldn't have been chocolate because they were from the health food store, so they must be carob. Well, the lollipops were thrown away, and I left for Los Angeles the next day. Soon after arriving, I had my reading with the clairaudient. He proceeded to tell me many things that confirmed that he was getting information from my mother. Other souls were present to help her communicate. Since this was a new and really difficult process, they had to slow down their thought vibrations and communicate with feeling. He told me that my mother had died from congestive heart failure, which she had, and that she was no longer in pain. In fact, he said she looked like she did when she was 20. She could kick up her heels and dance, which she always loved to do when she was younger. He told me my father's name and that my mom had been watching over him during his recent trip to Florida, which he had just returned from Florida. Amazingly enough, he correctly told me that I had a brother and sister where my mom grew up, and that my mom and the other souls who were with her were very proud of the work I did, helping to heal the little kids within all the adult clients that I work with. And even though I never thought of my work as a psychologist in this way, it is actually exactly what I do. Then he started laughing and said, "I have no idea why she's telling me this, but she said, you'll understand. Your mom just said, carob is definitely no substitute for chocolate." Well, my mind was blown. How could have he known that? After I recuperated from the shock, I laughed, realizing that this comment was my mom's wonderful sense of humor. I felt my consciousness transformed in that moment. It confirmed something I thought had been a possibility, that the souls of our loved ones are still with us, even after they pass away, and that my mom had in fact been watching over us as I gave my niece and nephew their carob Valentine lollipops. I feel like I was given this experience not only to be a comfort for me, but also over the years, this experience has been a great comfort to many of my clients, my family, and friends. The awareness that our loved ones are still watching over us has helped to ease the grief for many after they've lost a loved one. You'll see a cartoon on the screen of carob is definitely no substitute for chocolate. This exchange gave even more credence to what he proceeded to tell me next. My mother saw my name on the cover of a book. She even described the different chapters of the book, which were identical to the book I had always envisioned writing for years. And when I went back to listen to the tape recording from our session that the clairaudient had been taping, everything was on the tape except for the section of the reading that was about the book. Instead, there was a blank section in the middle of the second side of the tape. My mom had given me the impetus to write the book, and now it was up to me to make it my own creation. And that's what I did. So if you'd like to order the book, you can go to my website, www.abbyrosenphd.com. My prayer is that the magic of the communication with my mother and the transformation of consciousness that began this book continue into your lives as you read Lasting Transformation. So thanks so much for joining me.